Hello everybody, it's Claire here from Sewn by Claire, and I thought it was time for another update. I've not done a monthly update just for a little while, so I hope you'll bear with me. There's a bit of chatting and a bit of what I'm up to and just a bit of a progress report really. We're actually, well, if those that follow my channel normally, then I live in southern Spain, down on the Costa del Sol, and for the month of March, my husband and I decided we got a bit of an itch to scratch and that we would go and try living in France for a month. So we've rented a gîte in France, which is where I am at the moment, and we're on the cusp. We're in the Duras region, Duras, and we're on the kind of border between Lot-et-Garonne, Dordogne, and all kind of around that area there, and it's really pretty. Lots and lots of vines, lots of fruit trees as well, and we've had some quite cold weather when we first got here. The nighttime temperatures were -6, and so that was a bit of a shock to the system for us southern Spain is really coming back up here again after 4 years of acclimatising to the Spanish weather. It really did feel really cold. We travelled up by car from southern Spain, and we stayed overnight just south of Madrid for one night, and then we travelled then up to a place called San Sebastian, which is on the coast and just south of the Spanish-French border. Really pretty place. It was really funny because it kind of reminded me a little bit of Llandudno. Lots and lots of buildings on a crescent cove with a lovely sandy beach, and quite sort of a rocky kind of outcrop, and all it needed was the pier going out, and I'd have thought we were at Llandudno, but it was really fabulous. The culture there is all about the tapas and about wine in the evening, and so we tried to engage with that a little bit, but as first time people there and not quite sure what the ropes were, then it was a bit strange and felt a bit chaotic. By the second night we got the hang of it, so and it felt more like a place where you would go and have drinks in the evening and a little bit of a nibble, rather than you'd have a full-on dinner. And of course, being English, we tend to eat our larger meal at the night time. And so it kind of just made me think about the Mediterranean diet and all the hype we hear about that. And I just kind of felt that for all the extolling the virtues of having olive oil all the time, if you want to follow a Mediterranean diet, actually the French and the Spanish both eat their main meal at lunchtime. So definitely breakfast like kings, lunch like queens, and then dinner like paupers, I think is the saying, isn't it? So that was really interesting, because I kind of thought, well, it's all fine telling us English people to have the Mediterranean diet and how good it is for us, but in actual fact, taking on board the principle of eating your main meal at lunchtime rather than in the evening was also a major part of it. So that was quite interesting to kind of take on board really and think about it. I don't know whether I'll be able to manage it or not, because I think if I don't eat very much in the evening, then supper tends to feature quite heavily, and then that's not so good for us either, is it? But who knows? Anyway, I just thought it was just something interesting to share with you anyway. So we left San Sebastian then after 2 nights, and then we travelled up again in the car to the gîte where we're staying, and we went through a full-on snowstorm. I mean, absolutely like you've been having in the UK just recently. There was probably a couple of inches of snow laying in the outside lane of the dual carriageway, which is very unusual. We were crossing through the mountains, and we were just around about the border, I think. So yeah, we had to take it really slowly because, of course, we're not used to driving in that now. So I think the Spanish tend to treat the rain like the English treat frosty, slippy roads, because in Spain, with the heat on the tar and on these tarmac surfaces, then it makes the road slippy when it rains, and so of course it then just all made that all a bit slippy and what have you. But with the snow, but we got through that and then arrived here. First week we were pretty chilly. Layers were on. I think I got 4 or 5 layers on at one stage, but as you can perhaps see now, I've got the doors open, and although it's a little bit chilly with the breeze coming through, we've got full-on sunshine. I can't get the light quite right for the video, so I do apologise, because it's either whited out in the background or I'm very dark. So although you do know what I look like, so probably you'd be more interested in the view than in me, but I just thought this was probably a reasonable compromise, so I hope you'll stay with me. In terms of videos, I've been a bit quiet, and that wasn't the plan at all. For some reason, and I suppose we just presumed that the internet signal would be similar to what it is at home, but in rural France, clearly it isn't. So the upload speed here for video upload for my, even on the Wi-Fi in the Gite, is really, really poor. I think my videos are about an hour and a half each, aren't they, by the time I've finished editing them. By the time I've waffled and added a lot of detail and all that kind of thing. And I think I uploaded 3% in half an hour. So even if I'd left it running out on all night, it just wasn't going to cut it at all. And in actual fact, the program that I use for my videos, which is VN Editor, on my phone, then that was timing out before any videos had even got started, really. So I had to just give that one up as a bad job. So I do apologise, because I kind of just in my naivety thought that I'd just be able to do my videos. I brought a whole load of stuff here to do. I'll run through what I've got plans for making, and I get it all uploaded for you. So I got the first part of the dungarees sew along uploaded and for you before I left, and then of course I thought, right, I'll do part 2 and part 3. Everything will be fabulous. I mean, it has gone on into 4 parts now because of just getting everything. I think it's preparation, then start sewing, and then the second part, and then 4 parts. And I was just thought that I'd be able to upload it and everything would be fine, along with everything else that I've got done. So yeah, I'm finding I'm just twiddling my fingers a little bit, but I bought some cross stitch with me that I'll show you. So I've been doing that, and I've got a book on the go as well, which I was gifted for Christmas. So I'm making some inroads into that as well. So I'll get through all of that in a minute. So apologies, that's really what I'm trying to say, because my plans were to record and video when the weather was inclement, and just get those videos uploaded for you. No problem at all. But as I say, I've been thwarted. So I'm doing this sort of quick video. I'm going to say quick video, but you know my videos aren't always quick, but a quicker video, in order that I can update you with what's happening. The reasons why I've not been posting just recently: I'm still around, still active in the Facebook group. So if you've not joined my Facebook group and you think that's somewhere that you'd like to spend some time with like-minded people, and getting some support and just a bit of fun along the way, then it is for beginners and for intermediate sewists as well, because everybody has something to offer. Then pop along to Facebook, and there's a link in my, if you go onto my main my main YouTube banner picture, you'll see there's a little link there that you can click on. The name, it says Facebook group, and you can click on there. Or if you search Sewing by Claire, all as one word, and then a dash, and then Sewing Support Group, then it should pop up for you, and there's some questions to answer. So you do need to answer the questions. I'm asking everybody to do that, just to accept the group rules and just say what areas of sewing you're interested in. It just hopefully keeps any scammers and any undesirables out, but all the genuine people will get admitted straight away. If you've got a really weird Facebook name, as I know some people like to have their anonymity, or it's looking a bit vague. I think I had somebody asked to join the other day who got a strange name, and also they got like one friend, but then it was no sewing groups that they followed at all, and so unfortunately I did choose to decline that person. So if that was you, I'm really sorry. If you're genuine, just drop me a line or an email, and I'm sure we can chat about it and get through. But I just want to protect everybody who's in the group. We've got 63 members now, I think, as of today. So it's just a nice little active group. I will be keeping an eye on those numbers of people who are just sort of, I'm going to call them lurkers. I don't mean that necessarily in a negative way, but I am looking for people who want to engage rather than just sit back and watch all the time. So unfortunately, you will be encouraged to participate and just to say hi. And there's a couple of posts on there just saying what kind of sewing you're interested in, and also what level of sewing you're at. So you can engage with those almost anonymously, without having to start posting pictures and things like that. But it is nice if you're getting inspiration from other people's pictures and comments, to then add pictures and comment on other people's pictures and give that same feedback and that inspiration. But I'm hoping it's a safe space for everybody, and if anybody sees anything on there that shouldn't be there, then please just notify me and I'll get it moved as soon as I can do. But yeah, great fun there. It's quite time consuming actually to have the group and to be a part of it all. But I'm really enjoying the camaraderie and the interactive nature of it that we can do. We've been helping people with broken machines. We managed to fix somebody's machine the other day who was having a problem. Helping with fabric choices. We're encouraging people to try different kinds of sewing. So if you've come to my channel through Lunar Lapping, then please know that I'm going to try and encourage you to have a go at children's clothes or at bag making or at sewing for yourself. And also I do quilting and cross stitch as well. So there's all areas there that you can talk to me about and ask me about, and I'm really, really happy to share whatever tips and tricks I found along the way, and as well as the other people who are there. We've got some really, really lovely people in the group, and I value their friendship a lot. So if you fancy that, then pop along. Okay, so I spoke about the dungarees, so I just thought I'd just show you the dungarees if you've not been watching that. So these are the children's dungarees that we've recently sewn. They've got a frill on the strap here. They've got adjustable straps with buttons and buttonholes, which obviously can be moved as well. We've also added on to these a circular bottom pocket here, which is edged with rickrack, and I'll show you how to do that. So that's a little pocket for treasures, and that could be embroidered or embellished in any way you like. We've got buttons down the side here for opening. You can use poppers instead if you wanted, and then on the back we've got a couple of patch pockets which are very cleverly hidden with all of the same fabric. It's a bit busy so you can't always see those, but they've all been top stitched, and then I've actually done inseam buttons as well to help with potty training if your child's at that stage, but that can be omitted. So if you've ever fancied having a go at sewing something like this for a child, then have a go. If you haven't got a child that you sew for, but you've got your Lunar Lappings that you sew for, then please know it's possible to adjust Freddie's dungarees or overalls to make the same. I've just not got my press studs on because I've not brought those with me, so I just need to press stud those on the back of the buttons. But again, I've not put the frill on the straps because they were too narrow, but we have got the semicircular pocket edged with the rickrack again. We've got the mock buttons on the side here, and then we've still got the patch pockets on the back, and I've just cropped those off on the leg to make those shorter. So I thought that makes a really adorable child and lunar gift if ever you were wanting to do that. And also the dungarees were made out of the scraps from the main dungarees. So again, it's quite a cost-effective way of actually just gifting something. Or if you were making a quilt, you could always do, I know some people have been gifting quilts and Lunar Lappings, and you could use the fabric from the scrap fabric to make the little lunar size clothes. So again, there's lots of crossover there. A lot of the skills that you learn with the lunar clothes are directly transferable across to children's clothes, and over time I'm going to start and build in some of the patterns. I've got a lovely pattern for a wrap over dress, which I think will match Wilhelmina's wrap over dress in, I think it's in might be book 2, I think. But yeah, so those will all be coming in time. It's just a matter of having the time to get going with all of that. So that's the project. So I've got 2 parts of that. The preparation video, which is quite long and dry. Well, I think it's dry, but you might find it interesting, and hopefully you do. But it's all the essentials about grain lines and tailor's tacks and cutting out and what kind of fabrics to use for the patterns and that kind of thing. So lots and lots of information, and really, really essential. We don't actually get sewing anything until we get on to part 2, which is when we start to prep the pockets and the straps and the frills if you're using those. Then we start the main construction with the part 4 video, part 3 video, which will be coming soon when I get onto the internet. And then the final one is the finishing, where we do the buttons and the buttonholes, and just get that final finishing all done. So please bear with me. It will be up as soon as I can do, as I say, and I know you're being really patient, and the feedback in the group has been that everybody's happy to wait. So apologies if you're mid-project, but it is coming, and hopefully you'll feel it's worthwhile when it gets here. So in terms of other things that I found since I've been here, one of the things that I have treated myself to with some birthday money from my mother-in-law Enid, and big shout out to Enid. Thank you for my birthday money, Christmas money it was. I know it's quite late, but I was saving it so that I could make sure that I knew exactly what I wanted to get. And what I've treated myself to is a mini iron. So if I show you my hand, that's what size the iron is against there. It's got steam in it as well. If I just unravel the cord, it's got a nice long cord on it. This brand is by Prim, but you can get other ones as well. It's got a temperature dial, and then it's got your steam here and on off, and then you fill it in up with water through this section here, and then the other two little holes here are just for indications of water. I'm finding it really useful. It stands up on its edge like that, and I actually purchased a rubber trivet with it, although I've not been using that as much as I thought I would. So you might be able to skip the trivet if depending on how you're going to use it. But it's lovely to hold in your hand, and for getting into the lunar clothes, it's been really useful, and it's been sufficient. The heat has been hot enough and sufficient steam to be able to make that a really useful I'm going to say gadget, but tool really. Just click that on there if I can. Yeah, so it's got a little thing there to hold onto the cord for you, so that can keep it all nice and neat. But yeah, really, really useful. I think that was about £35, I think, in the UK. I think I was paid slightly less in Spain with the exchange rates for some reason, but that works really, really well. And then in conjunction with that, I purchased a wool pressing mat. I think this one is either 10 by 10 or 12 by 10. It's a good size, it's been plenty. It doesn't move around. I thought it might move around and slip and slide on my work surface, but it hasn't done. There is a slight smell, which I've read in some reviews of them, but I didn't mind that. I think this was a Millward one, Milward one. But again, that's been a really, really good purchase, especially when you don't want to get a great big ironing board out, or if you've got a small sewing space like I have at home, then this is going to be great, because I'm going to just pop this on the side of my desk and I'll be able to use it without it having to have the great big ironing board out. Whether I get my big iron board out for when I'm dressmaking for myself or not remains to be seen, so I'll report back on that at some stage. But certainly for the lunar clothes and the lunar items and then children's wear, then this is working really well. But there's a certain event coming up, isn't there? And there's birthdays and Christmases as well, and I just thought it would be a really nice thing to buy. It might be a bit expensive for people to buy you, but if you're treating yourself, it's not so bad. I think it's about £20-25, I think, for the wool pressing mat. But I think, based on how much I've used it already, I'm actually going to get a lot of use out of these. So again, I think it's going to be quite an investment in what I'm doing, and just save a lot of hassle and what have you. The only thing I am losing is getting up from my desk to use an ironing board. So I've just got to factor that in, and maybe, that lack of movement is not always good if we're sitting for hours and hours on end, is it, for our knees and our legs. So yeah, really pleased with those. So thank you, Enid. I have said thank you already to her, but yeah, I'm saying thank you publicly now. In terms of other projects, when I was working just before I came away, I had finished Hamish's head, which I absolutely love. He's just so cute. So he's another lunar lapping character. And I just love this fringe. Maybe it's taking me back to my new romantic days in the 80s, I don't know, but but he's just adorable. His head is mostly machine sewn, apart from his muzzle going on, but I think that I can adapt this as well to sew it with fabric rather than with felt, because whilst I love the effect in felt, I do prefer my characters in fabric, in like a linen or in a quilting cotton that's been interfaced. And so I might have a go at some stage and see if I can adapt this pattern to work well with quilting cotton instead. So watch that space. I mean, we still need to use the faux fur for his head, for his hair, his mop of hair. But yeah, I think that he's a possibility. And I've been thinking about how we can work on the legs, because the legs have got tufts of felt on them. And I've got a plan in mind as to how we can still machine sew his arms and legs and still keep those tufts. Or we might use some of this fabric here to sew into to make tufts. So that's just if we do it with material, with linen rather than with a felt. So just bear that in mind. That'll be coming very soon. And I'm sorry if you've got a part completed Hamish and you've not finished him yet. But again, I was hoping to get onto him, but the wind's been knocked out my sails a little bit with not being able to get the videos uploaded. It's kind of stalled the momentum, so I need to get back on. But he's next. His body and legs are next, because he's just adorable and he just needs that happening. So anyway, if you've had a go at making Hamish's head with the tutorial, I hope you've enjoyed it. And so yeah, so he's cut out, ready for my next projects. That's all bagged up, ready to go when I get a chance, and it's a brighter day this afternoon, so I think I'll be having a go at doing that. I also brought with me his outfit, his thespian shirt and his kilt, to be able to have a go at doing that. Again, will I get it done? Possibly not, because there's only so much storage room on my phone, so I do need to just try and balance this a little bit, hence this video first. I've also got with me Hugh the Hound as well, and I've also got with me Sydney the donkey, which is the darker donkey, and Otterline. So I had planned on being really, really busy for you all, and it's just not happening. So my apologies for that. So what have I been doing with my time? We've been out and about. We've been over to Bordeaux. We've been into the local town and had a plat du jour, which was amazing because I had 4 courses. I mean, okay, they were sized appropriately, but it was fabulous value at just under €16 for that, which was amazing. And we're going to go back and try that at some stage as well. We went to the market yesterday and picked up some freshly baked bread. We've been to the boulangerie as well and had cakes and croissant. And you'll probably tell I'll probably be spreading on the screen, but you know, life's for living, isn't it? And you've got to enjoy these things. We've done a lot of walking as well locally, as you can see where the gîte is. It's just beautiful. We're just in this lovely countryside, and there's vines and fruit trees all around us, so it's really, and it's a little bit hilly, so that's quite nice, but not too strenuous, not as bad as where we are in Spain, which is just really, you know, out of puff kind of hills, unless you go down by the coast, and then it's a bit better. But yeah, so we've been doing all of that. I've also made some progress on my cross stitch project that I've been working on, which is this one here. So I have completed the bottom bit of this border here, and I've done this one here as well, I think. So I've just got to go along the bottom. I've just started a few stitches this morning, just getting my placement ready for this border here is repeated. And then in the middle we've got a heart with birds and home sweet home in the middle there. So that's where I am on that one. And that's the only other project I grabbed with me, because I genuinely didn't think I'd have time for doing anything else. So I didn't bring Clementine's quilt with me or anything, because I thought that, yeah, I thought I'd be sewing and videoing for you guys instead. So I've been doing some work on that. So it's nice to get that moving forward and get that gone. And then the other thing that I'm reading is the Esme Young book, Behind the Seams, which is autobiography by Esme. She's not my favourite person, I have to say. And it's not anything that she's done, because I don't know her personally, but when I'm watching the Sewing Bee, I think she's not my favourite presenter. I think I preferred, was it Meg Matthews, the one before? But it's an interesting book. She had quite a wild teenage years, definitely, with periods of squatting and being very active in the punk scene and fashion scene down in London. So it is enjoyable reading about that. So I'm about, what am I about? A third of the way through at the moment where the stopper is, so I'm persevering with that. But it might and this book was bought for me by my dad's girlfriend partner, Carol, and so she knows I love to sew, so she bought me this as a present. So I'm very grateful, Carol. Thank you very much. And it's interesting to know a little bit more about behind the personality on that you see on the TV. So between those two things and just getting out and about, that's about all I'm up to, really. As I say, with coming away, I thought it would be business as usual and everything would carry on, but that's not happened. And so I do apologise that my lack of foresight with the internet has caused this problem, because I can't even upgrade my data on my phone. I've tried to do that. We've tried to access my husband's phone on data on his phone to upload it, and again, that's not working either. And we've tried buying a SIM card with just data on it, and again, we're not able to do that because it's just the way it's all configured. It's not working for us. So we're going to Bordeaux for my husband's birthday this coming weekend. We've got my stepson James and his wife Sarah coming over, and so we're going to be seeing them this weekend. And so when we get to the hotel in Bordeaux, I have my fingers firmly crossed that we can set the phone uploading whilst we're out and about on their Wi-Fi, and that it'll all upload and everything will be fab, and I'll be able to get the videos out to you, this being one of them. So until then, keep your fingers crossed for me. I hope everything's okay where you are. I hope you're enjoying your sewing projects. If you need any help, then give me a shout. I'm happy to help if I know the answers, and if not, I'll try and point you to somebody who might know the answers. But yeah, enjoy yourselves. Let's make the most out of every day that we can and let our creativity shine. So have a great day, everybody. Take care and happy stitching, and thank you for supporting me. Bye.